I was standing in the airport holding my boarding pass to Dubai, and honestly, I felt sorry for myself. My company was sending me there for 3 months, and all I could think was, why couldn't they send me to London or New York instead? I genuinely believed I was heading to some poor desert town where I'd be stuck in the heat with nothing to do. My friends back home were making jokes about me riding camels to work. I laughed along, but deep down, I was actually worried. I packed my bags expecting the worst, ready to just survive 3 months and come back home. I had no idea that I was about to step into a world that would completely shatter everything I thought I knew. What I saw in Dubai didn't just surprise me. It changed my entire perspective on what's possible. The plane landed at Dubai International Airport around midnight. I walked out expecting some small, outdated airport like the ones you see in old movies. Instead, I walked into this massive, gleaming terminal that looked like it was built yesterday. Everything was spotless. The floors were so shiny I could see my reflection. There were luxury shops everywhere, Chanel, Gucci, Rolex, all open even at midnight. I saw families from every country you can imagine, all moving through this space like it was the most normal thing in the world. I grabbed my luggage and headed outside, and that's when it hit me. The roads were perfect. Not a single pothole. Street lights everywhere. And the cars. Oh my goodness, the cars. I saw a Lamborghini pull up to pick someone up from the airport. A Lamborghini. At the airport. Like it was a regular taxi. My hotel was in an area called Dubai Marina. The taxi driver, a friendly guy from Pakistan, drove me through the city, and I couldn't stop staring out the window. It was past midnight, but the entire city was lit up like daytime. Skyscrapers everywhere, and I'm not talking about small buildings. These were giants, reaching into the sky with lights dancing across them. We drove past the Burj Khalifa, and even from a distance, I could tell it was something else. The driver smiled and said, "Welcome to Dubai, my friend. This city will surprise you." I nodded, still trying to process what I was seeing. Nothing about this looked poor. Nothing about this looked struggling. This looked like the future. I checked into my hotel, and the room was bigger than my entire apartment back home. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the marina with yachts parked below like cars in a parking lot. I stood there looking out at the city, and I realized I had been completely wrong. Whatever I thought Dubai was, this wasn't it. I barely slept that night. I was too excited, too confused, too eager to see what the next day would bring. Now, if you're new here and enjoying this story, hit that subscribe button because I'm taking you through everything I experienced in Dubai, and trust me, it only gets more interesting from here. The next morning, I woke up early and decided to walk around. I stepped outside, and the first thing I noticed was how clean everything was. The streets looked like someone had just washed them. No trash anywhere. People were jogging along the waterfront. Cafes were opening up with staff setting up outdoor seating. I walked into a small coffee shop, and the barista greeted me in English even though I hadn't said a word yet. She was from the Philippines. I ordered a coffee, and we started chatting. She told me she'd been in Dubai for 5 years, sending money back home to her family, and she was saving to open her own business. She said Dubai gave her opportunities she never would have had back home. I paid for my coffee, and it cost about the same as it would anywhere else, maybe even less. I spent that first week just exploring and watching. I took the metro, which was completely driverless and spotlessly clean. No graffiti. No weird smells. Just clean trains that arrived exactly on time. I visited the Dubai Mall, and calling it a mall doesn't do it justice. It's like a small city inside a building. There's an aquarium in the middle with sharks and rays swimming around. An ice rink where people were skating. Hundreds of stores. Restaurants from every country on earth. I ate lunch at a Lebanese place, and the food was incredible. Fresh, flavorful, generous portions. I walked around for 4 hours and still didn't see everything. One evening, I went to Jumeirah Beach. I expected maybe a small, crowded strip of sand. Instead, I found this long, beautiful beach with golden sand and clear blue water. Families were having picnics. Kids were playing in the waves. The Burj Al Arab, that famous sail-shaped hotel, was glowing in the distance. I sat on the sand watching the sunset, and I couldn't believe this was the same place I thought was poor just a week ago. People were relaxed, happy, living their lives without any sense of struggle or hardship. Work started the next week, and that's when I really began to understand Dubai. My colleagues were from everywhere: India, Egypt, South Africa, the UK, Lebanon, Canada. Everyone had come to Dubai for the same reason: opportunity, better salaries, no income tax, the chance to save money and build a future. One guy from India told me he was earning 3 times what he made back home, and because there's no tax, he was actually keeping all of it. He was saving enough to buy a house for his parents and still living comfortably in Dubai. Another colleague from Egypt said she felt safer in Dubai than anywhere she'd ever lived. She could walk home from work at 10 at night without worrying about anything. I started noticing the small things that made Dubai different. The police were everywhere, but they were friendly, helpful, not intimidating. I saw officers helping tourists with directions, smiling, making people feel welcome. The city just felt safe. I left my phone on a table at a cafe once while I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, it was exactly where I left it. Nobody touched it. That level of trust and safety is rare, and you feel it in how people carry themselves. Nobody's walking around paranoid or clutching their bags. The food scene in Dubai is insane. I'm talking about everything. I ate at a tiny Pakistani restaurant in Dera where the biryani was so good I went back 3 times in 1 week. I had Ethiopian food for the first time in my life at a small place in Bur Dubai. I tried Turkish breakfast spreads with more dishes than I could count. I had dim sum made by chefs from Hong Kong. Indian street food that tasted exactly like what you'd get in Mumbai. The diversity of food isn't just impressive. It's a reflection of the people. Over 200 nationalities live in Dubai, and every single one of them brought their flavors, their traditions, their culture. You taste the world in Dubai. One weekend, my colleagues took me on a desert safari. We drove out of the city in 4x4s and went dune bashing, racing up and down these massive sand dunes. My heart was pounding the entire time. We stopped at a Bedouin-style camp where they served Arabic coffee and dates. We rode camels, watched a traditional dance performance, and had a barbecue dinner under the stars. Sitting there in the desert with the city lights glowing in the distance, I realized Dubai hasn't abandoned its roots. It's building this futuristic city while still honoring where it came from. That balance is something special. I also got to see the work culture up close. People work hard in Dubai, no question. But there's also this sense that hard work gets rewarded. Promotions happen based on merit. Ideas get heard. I saw people from entry-level positions move up quickly because they had the drive and the skills. The business environment encourages ambition. Free zones let you start companies with full ownership. The government supports entrepreneurs. There's this energy in the city that says if you have an idea and you're willing to work for it, you can make it happen. That mentality attracts people who want more from life, and being around that kind of energy is contagious. By my 2nd month, I stopped comparing Dubai to what I thought it would be and just started living. I joined a gym that had equipment I'd only seen in professional sports facilities. I went to beach clubs on weekends where you could lounge by the pool with the ocean right there. I explored old neighborhoods like Al Faradi where you can see what Dubai looked like decades ago, narrow streets and traditional wind tower houses. I went to art galleries in All Circle Avenue where young Emirati artists were showcasing work that was bold and thought-provoking. I attended a poetry night at a cafe where people from different countries shared their stories. Dubai has culture. It's just different. It's being created right now by everyone who lives there. One thing that really stood out was how welcoming everyone was. Yes, Dubai is a Muslim city, and Islamic values are important here. But I saw churches, Hindu temples, Sikh gurdwaras, all functioning openly. People celebrated their religious festivals without any issues. Christmas decorations went up in malls. Diwali was celebrated with lights and events. Chinese New Year had dragon dances and festivities. The government promotes tolerance, and it shows. You can be who you are, practice your faith, speak your language, and nobody makes you feel like an outsider. That openness is part of why people from so many different backgrounds choose to build their lives here. Toward the end of my 3 months, I went up to the observation deck of the Burj Khalifa. Standing at the top of the tallest building in the world, looking out over this sprawling city that didn't even exist 50 years ago, I felt something shift inside me. Dubai proved that with vision, determination, and smart planning, you can create something extraordinary. This city rose from the desert in less than half a century to become a global hub. People said it was impossible. They said you can't build a world-class city in the middle of a desert. Dubai didn't listen. They built it anyway. When my 3 months ended, I didn't want to leave. I had arrived thinking I was going to some poor, forgotten place, and I was leaving one of the most advanced, vibrant, opportunity-filled cities I'd ever experienced. My perspective on everything changed. I learned not to judge places based on assumptions or stereotypes. I learned that progress and development can happen anywhere if people are willing to dream big and work hard. Dubai taught me those lessons in the most unforgettable way. If you ever get the chance to visit or even live in Dubai, take it. You'll see what I saw. A city that defies expectations and shows you what the future can look like.